Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here for video number 2 on your late Saturday afternoon, May the 3rd, 2025. Thank you all for watching this particular video right here on the official Peter Joseph YouTube wrestling channel, youtube.com/PeterJoseph. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down there. You know where it is in the description box below, otherwise known as iPads. So do it now. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but don't leave stupid comments because you'll get blocked and Satan will eat your soul. So please do not do that. Be respectful of the channel. If not, then get out of here, go fuck yourself, and have a nice day. And that's that. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next video. Because if you miss anything, you need to get slapped in the face with a barbed wire bat a few times. Because, you know why? Because you are SOL. And if you don't know what SOL means, you better look it up. But if you do know what it means, you are SOL. Ha! And that's, all I gotta say about that. And for a brand new new people here, if you're just watching for the very first time and you like what you see, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Come on in and make yourselves at home. You can leave it, like I said, leave a comment on the video if you like, on the topic itself or on something else. But don't leave, like I said, don't leave stupid comments because I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to delete it, and I probably will block you. And if you don't like that, tough shit. I have my own set of rules here. I don't cater to all these obsessed people that just don't like me. But if you don't like me, you don't like my channel at all, then just leave and block me. But if not, then stay obsessed and stay jealous because I'm better than you and you know it. I'm not MJF, but, I'm way better than him too, but I digress. But if you don't like it, too bad. But if you do, then welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, you grab that nice cold one, put your feet up and enjoy the show. And that's all I gotta say about that. Simple and to the point. Alright, we continue on, ladies and gentlemen, as we are starting the beautiful month of May. Nice, warm day today. It's going to be raining like cats and dogs here later on this evening into tonight, into the overnight. And, yeah, we're getting a lot of rain on and off the next week. All next week is going to rain on and off. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be bleh. It's going to be hard to go out at times. You can bring the umbrella, bring the galoshes, bring the raincoat, bring whatever you got here in the Northeast. But wherever you may be, if it's sunny, then don't bring anything at all. But if it is storming really bad, just be safe and be careful of those thunderstorms and those tornadoes and hail and all that other crazy, crappy shit. Just be careful out there on the roads and everything. And also, happy Cinco de Mayo weekend to all my Mexican fans, or my Latinos, my Puerto Ricanos, your Dominicanos, all that other good stuff. Be responsible, know when to say when you're at the bar tonight, tomorrow, and, of course, Monday. And also, happy Star Wars weekend, because tomorrow is May the 4th be with you, then we got May the 5th and 6th be with you, so enjoy that for Star Wars weekend and Cinco de Mayo weekend. Just be safe, have fun, and, be responsible, and all that other good shit. Let me move on. Alright, I'm gonna have a pretty good weekend. I did some yard work today. I was waiting for some packages from Amazon. Never came, so I'm hoping I had to cancel the order. But thankfully, I'm getting a refund. So eventually, in a couple of days, I'm gonna reorder what I had to get. Mrs. had to get some stuff. She's pissed. She's pissed at Amazon. Amazon can go suck a dick, for all I care. But hopefully, we'll be getting some stuff in a couple of days from Amazon. But we'll see what happens with that. It's just some food, and I bought a couple of DVDs and CDs. But that's old stuff, nothing obscure, not like In This Moment or stuff like that, any bands like that. It's just some like all 80s metal, what do you call it, greatest hits kind of thing from the 80s metal bands and everything. So we got all that. So it should be fun when I hopefully get that in by the middle to end of next week, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, Amazon, you suck dick. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. But anyway, on this beautiful Saturday evening, May the 3rd, 2023, it is time, as we get closer, about an hour and a half away from a live collision from Atlantic City, New Jersey, I should say, Jersey. Land of, well, not, the city of big dreams, and, you know, most people, you know, lose their dreams at the casino, but, you know, I'll be going there in probably a couple months to, you know, for a little mini road trip with the missus, and hopefully win it big, and then we'll own YouTube next. No, I'm kidding. But we'll see. So I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna go on the beach and just chill, and you know, do some good things. We're gonna boogie. You know, gonna dance, go to nightclubs and drink, and we're gonna, you know, maybe do some stuff on the boardwalk and just hang out on the weekend in Jersey. That's gonna be late, probably middle to late August, but. We'll see what happens with that. And, you know, like I said, my vacation to gonna be in California for about 5 days. So it's just a mini, not a big vacation, like a week or two, but, you know, about five, maybe 6 days. So I will be back probably right near the tail end of July. So 2.5 months away. But we got a long way to go before we can get that shit. But we get there. But anyway, it is time for your so late, super far out of fucking date, AEW Dynamite! As we roll into Collision later on in about an hour and a half, it's time for your Dynamite review for a few days ago, April the 30th. Let's go back to April the 30th, 2025, from the Chartway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. And our commentary team, the man behind the mask, Excalibur, the biggest Met fan I know. He was happy yesterday with the Mets win 9-3. They did get postponed today because of the weather. They're playing a split doubleheader tomorrow, beginning at 1:15 on Channel 11, and then at 6:15, I believe, on SNY. So, you could say a day-night doubleheader, but it's a split doubleheader, and it's a 9-inning games, not no 7 anymore, like it used to be a couple years ago. But we'll see what happens with the Mets. It's still 3.5 games up on the Phillies. Hopefully the Phillies lose today, so Mets gain a half game to make it 4. And we got that. And then the Mets go to Arizona on Monday to face those Diamondbacks, who took 2 or 3 from the Mets at Citi Field a couple of days ago. Mets really should have swept them, but, you know, it happens. You know, they're pretty much, they got 3 losses at home. They're one of the best record at home, I think, next to the Padres, I believe. But, you know, I think still tied or got the best record in all baseball as of right now, but it is what it is. And the Yankees, lost today 3-2 to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Sad, because, like, you know, Anthony Volpe plays horrible defense. The Yankees bullpen is garbage. So, enjoy your horrible first place. As you know, the Yankees are in first place by, I think, like 2 games or some shit like that. Over Boston. So we'll have to see what happens with that. The Subway Series starts in 13 days, my friends. 13 days for the Subway Series, Mets and Yankees. Part 1 at the construction site in the Bronx. That's the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Weather permitting, of course. And then I think they play again July 4th weekend at Citi Field. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, Solo's going to get booed or cheered, who knows, with those skanky fans in that construction site. So, and we got that. But Taz is a happy man right now. Also, another happy man, that's my good friend, and hopefully yours, Tony Schiavone, otherwise known as Tony Baloney, Tony Schiavone. Alright, we got that. Alright, we're still a month away from, well, actually, as of this video, we are, how many days were it? That's not the 24th, 25th. So we are 22 days away, almost 3 weeks away from Double or Nothing, which is going to be held in Phoenix, Arizona, and going head-to-head with NXT Battleground, which is going to be at the same time in Tampa, Florida. So that should be very interesting how we're going to watch all that shit, but we'll see what happens with that. But We got the finals of the Owen Hart tournament coming up. We got what do we got? We got Kyle Fletcher taking on the Hangman Adam Page, about to do some cowboy shit, and where that faces Will Ocean Spray. And also on the women's side, we got the CEO Mercedes Moné taking on Jamie Hayter, and also a lot of things going on with MJF and the Hurt Business. Tony Storm took on Miyu Yamashita in a open a women's eliminator match. See what happens with all that, and who Tony Storm's next opponent might be as we get to all in July. We do got Fyter Fest in the beginning of June to kind of bookend that, but we'll see what happens with that as we move on. Alright, so let's start this shindig. Let's not waste any more time, because I already wasted 11 minutes. But you're still watching. Alright, so we started off Dynamite with an all-star 8-man tag team match. We had the funky chicken himself, Mark Briscoe, and as always, when we talk about Mark Briscoe, we pay homage to his great brother up there, the man, two-time Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion and 13-time Tag Team Champion himself. Man who gets violent, and he goes buck wild, and it's always crazy as shit. The man up there, you great man, you, yes, Jay Briscoe, reach for the sky, boy. Yes. Alright, so Mark Briscoe teams up with the AEW Intercontinental Champion. That's our good friend Kenny. Mwah! By God Omega. Bang! And he teams up with the young upstart Kevin Knight and Speedbar Mike Bailey as they take on Ricochet, and the elite of the Continental Breakfast of Champions. Well, the man who holds the Continental Breakfast of Champions title, and that is Okada and the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Alright, so we move on with that. Alright, so commentary was non-stop talking about Omega and Okada. The first time they've been in a match together since this match was announced like a week ago. And then Shivani was bringing up a whole bunch of shit. Okay, yeah. Shivani's bringing up a whole bunch of even though Shivani brought it up like on Collision a whole bunch of times last Saturday, which got a huge rating, which was great for them, even though with the lead-in from basketball. But tonight, I don't think they get any lead-in because they're going to be on TBS tonight at 8. Not on TNT because of basketball and hockey. They'll be on TBS tonight at 8 o'clock live. So, set your DVR accordingly. And, that's that. Alright, so it starts off with, guess who? Kenny and Okada. And then the Bucks and Ricochet come in to beat the crap out of Kenny. And then Nick Jackson with a finger poke of doom. He pokes Omega in the eye, a little Roddy Piper action. Matt snaps the arm over the rope a few times. And then Ricochet's top rope stomp in the arm lets Matt do the same thing again. And he wasn't looking. And then Omega reversed it. And then Matt's like pulling on Ricochet's arm. That was funny. And then Matt's like, "You son of a bitch!" And he smacks Ricochet's bald head. That was funny as fuck. But anyway. And then Speedball Mike Bailey comes in, kicks away at Ricochet. We get a double basement drop kick, even though half connected. So we get a half double. We get a 1.5 basement drop kick, I guess. That connects as Kevin Knight missed his version. Ooh, Kev, come on. You gotta hit that. Mark Briscoe comes in, gets hit right in the face, allowing Matthew to come in. And, that's fine by him, who kicks him in the face to even things up, and it's time for everyone to miss an elbow drop. And everybody, kips up, and everybody's, at a standoff, and Shivani's going nuts. This is the greatest thing in my life! Need to stop that, Tony. I know it's great and all, but you don't have to come in your pants and shit. But anyway, alright, so the faces clear the ring. We go to early break, come back. Speedball Mike Bailey slips out of a powerbomb attempt, but Ricochet knocks all of his partners off the apron. And then he goes for it, bling, basta, but couldn't get it. And Okada tried it, couldn't get it himself. And then everybody else comes in, and they all shout, bleed, basta, homage to El Generico. And basically, they get reversed into suplexes to the floor. Ow. And then we get stereo flippy dippity doos by everybody, leaving Mike Bailey to missile dropkick Okada back down inside the ring. Kevin Knight's spinning splash hits Matt's knees, but it's back to Kenny to come in and do what he does best, clean house, because he is the cleaner. The Bucks get in a double shot to Omega's little bad stomach area, his diverticulitis crap. And go to another break, we come right back again. Matt plants Kenny with a DDT, but Ricochet gets taken down. And then Mark Briscoe comes in to clean house, hits a Fisherman's Buster for a fall on Mr. Okada. Then he tries to go for the J-Driller. He gets counted into the air raid crash on the knee. Ow. But Speedball Mike Bailey kicks a middle, Okada's like, fuck you. Oh, fuck you, man. And Speedball Mike Bailey's like, get that fucking finger away from me. Then Kevin Knight comes in for a double Pele kick to the Bucks. That was nice. And then Kenny and Okada come in, even though they're not the legal men, and the fans going, yes, this is epic! And it was. They fight it out. Kenny hits that Snapdragon suplex. He goes for one-winged angel. It gets broken up. Okada hits the Okada dropkick, but with we didn't get the pullback, because we don't get that anymore. He goes... Get that. And then everybody else comes in, and then Matt Jackson and Ricochet go up top for a double top rope backsplash, double spike tombstone. That was crazy. It felt like double indie takers almost in certain ways. It looked like an indie taker and a backsplash. That's what it really was. A double indie taker backsplash combo. That was nice. Mark comes back in with the J-Driller for a near fall on Okada, as Ricochet made a save. Then he gets dropkicked onto everybody on the floor. Kenny then, with the Terminator, big running flippy dippity-doo. And then Excalibur with a little PWG reference. He goes, you didn't have to go to Reseda, California for this one. Oh, really now? Oh, nice to mention PWG, the company that you pretty much buried, because you haven't had a show in, 2 years? Because you can't pay the arena, and not even in Reseda anymore, I think. There used to be in that little bar, run-on bar. It looked like a bar to me, like a little bingo hall, whatever it was in Reseda. They had many great events in PWG. PWG was one of those indie feds you just loved to go to, like Ring of Honor, which wasn't really an indie fed, but it was so great to go to because you had a lot of great stars like Steen, Generico, the Bucks. In some ways, in the early days, Kenny, but then later days you had like Claudio and Chris Hero, people like that, the American Wolves. Such a great time, because a lot of people like Jay Lethal used to be in PWG, and they would have like Battle Los Angeles, then they would come back for a Ring of Honor show like the next week or so, or vice versa. Then they do their shows in Philly, and then they go to Baltimore, and then they do PWG. But PWG's dead right now, and all the champions they had, I don't even know the last freaking world champion. I thought it was Daniel Garcia. I think it is or not, but there is no more PWG, so all those champions are pretty much in the history books. But never say never with a PWG reunion. That's up to Excalibur, but anyway. So after that after Kenny hits that big running flippy dippity doo, Okada hits a Rainmaker on Mark Briscoe. 1, 2, 3 to finish this pretty epic match, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Match time under 26 and a half minutes. And that's pretty much it. So, great match to open the show. That's that. Alright, then we see the Hurt Syndicate That's MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley, the AEW Tag Team Champions. They come in, they beat up some random people for talking some smack to them. And then MVP basically tells, gives a little sales pitch to Bobby and Shelton. They say, if he falls out of line, I give you full right to kick his ass, and trying to tell Bobby, lighten up a little bit. So who knows? It looked like it was gonna be the night that MJF pulls a Owen Hart and joins the Hurt Syndicate, because remember how Owen Hart pretty much got put in with the Nation of Domination. It was weird. Anyway, moving on. All right, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. I gave the first match 4 out of 5 stars. I'm off and running. All right, then we get to our quickie match of the night. Lasted 3 minutes. Did I say 3 minutes? 3 minutes? All right, so we have the 6-man tag team champions, the Ops. That's Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, and the man from Japan, Kazuyoshi Shibata. As Hook is still injured with his concussion. Taz said he's doing better, but he hasn't been medically cleared with concussion protocol yet, so you might not see him until maybe Double or Nothing, but we'll see. Anyway, so they take on in a non-title affair the return of Captain Caveman, Nick Camarado, Red Titus Addicted to Love, Red Titus sighting. You never see that a lot. And some guy named Miles Hawkins. Anyway, Joe knows a thing or two about, Red Titus, because they fought in Ring of Honor before, and Joe wiped the floor with him. So Joe starts on Red's arm, and then hammers away in the corner, and we get an insecure in the corner connects, and it's off to Shibata, who takes on Captain Caveman, Mr. Nick Camarado. They had a little chop-off, which was decent, but, Shibata drops it with a running pump kick, and then he's like, I'm done. Hey, Hobbs, come in. Hobbs comes in and hits a spine buster on poor Miles Hawkins, who comes in, and the match ends in 3 minutes. So it's Joe did his little work, Shibata did his work, and then Powerhouse finished the job. So that's where you get your 3 minutes from. So, kind of boring match, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. And then after the match, Joe gets on the mic. Let me get my notes in order, hopefully. Okay, 1 second. Where's my notes? Oh, okay. Alright, after the match, before Joe gets on the mic, the Death Riders come out, the AEW champion John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, the Swiss, and William Utah, the guy that, people don't really like anymore, and Marina Shafir. They all come out to start a big brawl with the Ops. Joe and John Moxley brawl up the aisle, and then Shibata gets taken out by Claudio, and Claudio's about to hit the neutralizer on the chair, the way they messed up Hook's rib cage, and threw up after that. Even though I had the concussion, he threw up. But anyway, so he did what they did to Hook to Shibata, kind of take him out, and then they looked like they were about to go for some revenge, but rather than going after them, Joe gets on the mic and says, I want my title match. I'm going to get my title match with you, Moxley, next week in Chicago, but it's not, there's going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, none of your Death Riders to come and help you. We're going to do this in a solid steel cage, brother. I'm like, yeah, good. We're going to see some blood, motherfuckers. And sadly, the report, speaking of blood, TNA has banned excessive blood and bleeding, per the new executives, I guess. That sucks. So you want to see excessive blood, go to AEW, or maybe go to GCW, go to some hardcore federations. Because you ain't going to see it in WWE unless it's hardway blood, like when Elton Prince got busted open. That was hardway. That wasn't he just took a blade and cut himself or some shit. But at certain times, in certain situations, when the time comes for some blood, like in a Hell in a Cell match, like with Punk and Drew, there was a lot of blood, a lot of bleeding and everything. but you mean rarely you see that type of blood in WWE right as of right now, unless Hunter is bringing it back. I don't know, but TNA land, you're not gonna see that much anymore, and I don't know what AEW is gonna do, and Ring of also, well, we don't see much in Ring of Honor anyway, but you know, and I don't know about MOW, but other than that, I mean, you want to see some people gushing blood, go to pretty much go to some matches in CCW, some matches like Tournament of Death, Cage of Survival for GCW, stuff like that. But GCW, JCW, that's the place to go for excessive blood and violence. But look at that. Speaking of GCW is coming to my neck of the woods in the middle of July, but I'll be on. I may or may not. I may go. I may not. It depends if I have. Right now, it's I don't know if the tickets went on sale yet. But if they did, I got to see how much they are, because I might not be sitting ringside. I might be sitting somewhere in the stands. Somewhere. At least I can see everything. Because it's on the. It's like Field of Honor, but it's GCW's version of Field of Honor, with Field of Violence. But not much violence, because the New York State Athletic Commission, it sucks dick. Pretty much. Fuck the commission. I'm just saying. Well, we move on with that. Alright, so Moxley and Samoa Joe inside a solid steel cage for the AEW World title next week. I want Joe to win so bad, but they're going to go with Moxley to win, and then maybe he has a match at Double or Nothing. He'll probably win there, and then I think he'll lose it to either Ospreay or Fletcher or the Hangman Adam Page at All In. I just have a feeling that this Death Riders storyline will finally end, kind of like the Bloodline situation in some ways, but we got that. Alright, we move on. Alright, then we have a sit-down interview with the beautiful, remarkable Renee Paquette and the CEO. Miss Four Bells herself, Mercedes Moné, looking great, brings up her various international titles, like the Red Pro Undisputed Women's title, the New Japan Strong title, which hopefully we losing all three of those, three of those belts, really two, but three of those belts pretty soon. She'll definitely lose the New Japan belt pretty soon. I think she'll lose the Red Pro titles pretty soon, so all she'll have left is the TBS title, which she'll probably lose as well, probably at, not at Double or Nothing, probably sometime in the summertime, I think. I mean, because she does have Jamie Hayter to worry about. I think Mercedes is going to win that match and go on to face Toni Storm, possibly becoming Mercedes 5 belts, but I love to see Toni whip her ass. But then again, who knows? We'll get that. But anyway, so Mercedes says, I care about honoring the Hart family, the Hart, Stu Hart, Owen, blah blah blah, so friends. But this whole thing is about her, make everything about her. And she knows she's coming up against Jamie Hayter, who's bigger and stronger, but she's not greater than her, and she's the greatest champion to ever live, and all this other crap. So we get that from the CEO. I wonder how she feels about Zelina Vega doing the CEO dance. Probably she liked it, but who knows. We move on. Alright, so I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we see the Patriarchy. Christian! Kip Sabian, Nick fucking Wayne, the Ring of Honor TV champ, and Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Yeah. Alright, so they're talking about Nick Wayne and blah blah blah, saying they're all, happy and shit. And then, ooh, yeah, black machismo, ooh, yeah, Jay Lethal, ooh, yeah, dig it. He comes in, interrupts their little soiree, and says, hey, I want to fight the Ring of Honor TV champion Nick fucking Wayne, later on, because Jay Lethal was one of, was the one of the longest reigning TV champions in company history. So get that. So he wants to show him, wants to get the belt back. So. Nick Wayne's like, I don't want to do it. And Christian's like, yeah, I accept on behalf of my son. And Nick Wayne was like, what? Sphincter says what? again. One of those things. So we get one of those things, and that's pretty much it for that. And we move on. We move on. So I gave that little segment 2.25 out of 5 stars. All right, then we go to a non-title women's eliminator match. We got Timeless Toni Storm, darling. What's up? And when Toni Storm comes out, ladies and gentlemen, please chin up, tits out. Watch for the shoe! Alright, so Timeless Toni Storm comes out with Luther, her butler. She takes on the hot woman from Tokyo. Alright, well, I should say, she's not great, but she's a wild woman from Tokyo! She makes me see! Yeah. Great song, by the way. She's a champion. I think the princess champion of Joshi Pro. I forgot the name of the belt. But anyway, we got the very evil Miyu Yamashita. I was like, oh boy, Tony, you're gonna die. But, pretty good match. Under 9.5 minutes, they fight over wrist control. Tony hits a Luthez press, ground and pound. Stone cold. Then backbreaker puts Miyu down, but she comes right back with a wicked kick to the head. On the top rope. Tony misses her sexy hip attack on the apron, and then she didn't hit it hard, she just stopped and and then Miyu basically kicks her ass. I mean, literally kicks her in the ass a few times, and Lou's like, stop kicking her in the ass! She has a nice ass! She has a nice ass! And I know from experience. But anyway. So, Miyu was basically kicking Tony's ass, and then she drops Luther, and Luther's like, and then Miyu drops Tony with another kick in the ass. As we go to break, we come back, they exchange forearms, which Tony wins, though Miyu walks through a bunch of shots to the head. Ow. Tony hits a release German suplex, but she charges right into another wicked kick to the head for a near fall. And then Tony comes back with sky high, not sky low, but sky high for a near fall, and a fisherman's suplex for a near fall. Miyu comes back, kicks Tony in the head again, but gets a German suplex in the corner, ow. And then the sexy hip attack leads right into Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3, Toni Storm gets the win over Miyu Yamashita, or Yamashita, they call her. Yamashita, tomato, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so pretty good match. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, the CEO, Mercedes Moné comes out with a microphone, goes, Norfolk, say hello to your CEO and shut up, basically. She says, Tony, I'm coming for your belt at All In. But then Jamie Hayter comes out and kind of scares her away Mercedes. She decks her, and then Mercedes like, no, ah! Runs away like a little bitch. And then Tony's like, ooh. Impressive Skywalker. Very impressive Skywalker. That's pretty much what he said. What she said. If you don't know Emperor Palpatine's, lines, impressive Skywalker, very good. The Force works through you. That's that. Alright, so we got that, so we'll see what happens, tonight on Collision, as Toni Storm has another Eliminator match with Lady Frost is coming back from that wicked injury a couple months ago. I think it was her neck or her leg. So she's back in action. Not going to obviously win the Eliminator match, but we'll see what happens with that. Let me move on. Alright, then we go to the back. Don Callis is all ready for Kyle Fletcher to win the semifinal match with Mr. Hangman Adam Page and go on to win the Owen Hart Cup and beat his arch nemesis Ocean Spray. We'll see. We got that. All right, then we go to what I think was the segment of the night. The Hurt Syndicate come out for a little chitty chat. It's like, all right, let's do this again. They call it MVP, and then MVP talks about how all three of them have to agree to induct a new member, which is MJF. So let's try this again. MJF comes out. It's right to basically sucking up to them. It's like, oh, Shelton, I gave you whores, I gave you a watch, Bobby, I gave you a car, I gave you money, I gave you women, you want, what's up with you? Maybe I'll change your mind, blah blah blah. So anyway, they get to the voting, and as always, MVP, because he's MJF's boy, thumbs up. Shelton's like, yeah, you gave me women and you gave me, your watch. Okay, I'll put my differences aside. And it says, and it's time for Bobby, the last couple weeks, even with the car and the women down. So Bobby's like, once again, he turns down MJF, who is pissed. He's like, what do I gotta do to impress you? You stupid, sick, bald bastard! He's like, maybe you need some Rogaine and shit like that. So he really went off on Bobby, and then Bobby just went berserk. He, grabbed MJF in the corner, looked like he was about to hurt him, really bad. And I'm just like, okay, stop! Bobby, you don't know what you're doing, stop! And then Bobby's like, hey, you want to impress me? You gotta hurt somebody. So, a little ultimatum from Bobby Lashley. So, Max, I would, think about it tonight on Collision or on Dynamite this coming week. You want in the group, you gotta put somebody out. If not, fuck you, man. It's like joining the Prophecy. You gotta, you gotta make a strong impression, if you know what I mean. Not that type of impression, but, you gotta impress me. So, I want to trust you. I want to have you in my group. I just can't say, oh, yeah, he's in my group. All the people that are in there now. Rosa had to prove herself in Boys and One. And, other people that are in the group, but I'm not going to name. But, they had to prove themselves to me. And, they're very loyal to me. They don't have to fight my battles. I fight my own battles. So, that one too. And, that's it. But we are endless. So, you can say it's just me and Rosa, or it's just me in my head with my former groups, the Armada, which went, oh, the Armada went nowhere. Blah, blah, blah. All these other groups you had went nowhere. But, but the Prophecy is strong. Unlike, there's a lot of groups here on YouTube. Some of them are, were good. And then some of them, well, they're pretty much fading faster than, the sun right now, you have a group that, goes away for a little bit, they come back, they, have the old OG members, and then they get new members, and yeah, we're gonna take over YouTube, this and that. We're gonna put out content on our channel, and then it's only, basically 2 people doing it now. That's not a group. You gotta have people that are willing. I know they got busy schedules, I understand that, but, every once in a while, you should put up a community post. Say, oh, hi, Jim here. I just wanted to say hello. At least I'm putting something up. Maybe put up a quick short. Just say, hey, I just want to say, hi. Or talk about some random topic. Just go on the one of the group channel and go do a quick short. Like, I think Jennifer Lopez's ass is fake. Something like that. We all know it's real. Oh, she can jiggle on my dick all night long. Oy, oy, oy. I'll make her get loud, if you know what I mean. But I digress. But anyway, yeah. So MJF's like, Lance is like, hey, Max, if you want to be in this group, you gotta hurt people to impress me. So you better get started with that shit. So, MJF looked like he was about to piss in his pants and his life almost flashed before his eyes. But Bobby was about to legit kill him. I don't blame him either. Would you trust MJF in your group? I mean, Ed Jericho, that one. And that's Cody, too, back in the day. But we move on. I gave that 3.5 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, so, yeah. Alright, so we move on. Alright, then we get a look at, FTR joining up with Stokely Hathaway last week, and, they kind of beat up, I think they beat Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, and then Adam Cole and the Dancing Fool, Danny Garcia, had to save them. So, we'll see what happens with that situation. And then we go to the Ring of Honor World TV title match. Nick fucking Wayne against Jay Lethal. Nick Wayne comes out with his music, and then it gets changed to the Patriarchy's music. Oh, that did not sit well with Nick Wayne. Anyway, so they trade headlocks, headlock takeovers to start. Nick Wayne already needs a breather on the floor, because, Jay Lethal's old. Yeah. And then Lethal with those wicked hard chops in the corner. Did some basement drop kicks connect. Nick fucking Wayne, excuse me. He goes right back with a toss to the floor. Ow. And a Hurricane Rana takes Lethal out again. It's on somewhere on the aisle. Lethal then gets sent into the ring steps. Ow. We go to break. Come back. Jay Lethal comes back, grabs Na Magistrale, and the Lethal combination for near falls. Then he goes up top, hits the 1-2-man elbow, hail to the king. Ooh, yeah. Get it. You approve that, Randy? Ooh, yeah. Okay. He doesn't do it better than me. Ooh, yeah, Mr. Joseph, yeah. I do it better. Ain't that right, Miss Elizabeth? Yes, Randy. Be nice. Anyway, we move on with that. So he hits Hail to the King, goes for the cover, but Nick Wayne reverses the cover into a roll-up for a near fall, and then Nick Wayne kicks Jay Lethal down. Then he hits a Fisherman's Buster, of all things. He didn't hit Wayne's World, Party Time Excellent, but hits the Fisherman's Buster 1, 2, 3 to retain the Ring of Honor World TV title. Decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Christian comes in and looks like he was about to steal a title or something, but he takes the title from Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then Christian's like, looks at it, and then he puts it around his son's waist. So I'm like, oh great, God forbid Christian goes after the Ring of Honor TV title. Like, he needs that shit. I hope not, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then it's made official, Samoa Joe versus Moxley in the cage next week. Got that. And then we get a look at the men's and women's Owen Hart Cups. We already know Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter are in the finals at Double or Nothing. And now we get to our main event of the evening to see who faces Will Oceanspray in the men's finals. So we got Kyle Fletcher, the Proto Star, with Don Callis and Lance Archer. Hey, everybody dies. He's at ringside. Why? I don't know. They're there with Kyle Fletcher, and then they're fighting, I think he's from, the hometown boy. I think he's from Virginia, but anyway. We'll go with that. We got the Hangman, Adam Page comes out, about to do some cowboy shit. And we get that. Alright. Pretty good match. They fight over arm control to start. Don Callis gets on commentary, starts arguing with Taz. What else is new? And then the Hangman knocks Kyle to the floor. And is smart not to go outside because, freaking Lance Archer and Don Callis are there to maybe beat him up. Not that Don Callis can beat up anybody these days. Anyway, get back in. Hangman hammers away at Fletcher. Chris goes for the buckshot layer. It's a little bit too early for that, but instead, the Hangman clotheslines him on the floor. Ow. As we go to break, we come right back, and as always, the heels do come back. But we see Kyle Fletcher bleeding from the back. Ugh, I don't know how that happened. But we see Adam Page finding out of a chokehold. Breaks out of that, hits a big time Lariato for a double down. and then a backdrop and elbow have Kyle Fletcher in even more trouble. And then the Hangman hits a Death Valley driver for a near fall. And after that, Adam Page hits a triangle clothesline, putting Kyle Fletcher on the floor. But Kyle's good enough to hit a Blade Buster on the apron. Ow. That's nasty. Adam Page comes right back with a tombstone on the floor. Ooh. That's some cowboy shit, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we go to break, we come right back. Adam Page gets the better of a slug out in the middle of the ring, hits a power bomb for a near fall. And then he plants Kyle down again, goes to a moonsault, but Kyle got his boots up. Then they go to the apron again. Adam Page hits the Deadeye. And since Fletcher is on his feet, less than 15 seconds later, Adam Page, why not, hits a moonsault to the floor. He's going buck wild, if you know what I mean. They get back in, goes to the buckshot lariat. It gets countered into a kick right into the nutsack, which was, I think the referee did not see. I think it was distracted with Lance Archer and he was distracted by Don Callis and Lance Archer. So Kyle Fletcher hit Adam Page in his cow nuts, which isn't great. And then he hits a Blade Buster. Somehow Adam Page kicked out at 2, and Don Callis is like, what? It looked like 3, but it was 2. So anyway, they go up top where Adam Page clotheslines Kyle down, setting up a flipping clothesline from the top, which was nice. And that pretty much was it for Adam Page. He hits the buckshot lariat on Kyle Fletcher. 1, 2, 3. Adam Page, the Hangman, goes to Double or Nothing to face Will Ospreay. I think that's going to be a banger. And this match was pretty good too. 3.25 out of 5 stars. And that's pretty much it. Nothing after that. No aftermath bullshit. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so that is it for my my AEW Dynamite review. We're going to get to Collision in about 45 minutes from now. Should be a good show from Atlantic City, New Jersey. So if you're there, have fun. If you're not, go on the boardwalk and go to the casino. And go waste your money. And if you want to boogie, then go boogie at one of the many great hotels in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And that's pretty much it. Eat some good food and all that good stuff. Alright, so my final rating for Dynamite, 7.5 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys think of the show down below in the comment section and all that good shit. Alright, so I'm going to watch Dynamite. I will be back later with my TNA and Ring of Honor review. And if I have some time, I might do a 4th video with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Talk about that for a little bit. And then tomorrow we'll definitely do we'll do Collision, and maybe I'll try to get that rant about Hulk Hogan's new wrestling venture. I think it's ridiculous, but we'll talk about that and a whole lot more later tonight and tomorrow to end your Cinco de Mayo weekend, and we'll have good fun. But like I said, if you're going out for Cinco de Mayo weekend, be safe, be well, drink responsibly, know when to say when, and don't get in that car. Please have a designated driver with you, or just take a cab, take an Uber home, and if you're gonna have that drunk sex, like I said, guys, wrap up that burrito, and pray it doesn't break. And if you think you have great pull-out game, you don't, because I know a lot of people don't. I have great pull-out game, but I don't really need to do that sometimes. But I'm always safe with the misses, so I mean, it is what it is. We'll probably have some fun, not tonight, tomorrow and Monday most likely. Since today's a little bit of a rest day for us. So, but tomorrow and Sunday we'll be drinking up the wazoo. No, not so much me, but because I'm on new meds, so I can't do that. So, but we're gonna have fun tomorrow and Sundays. Tomorrow and Monday for Cinco de Mayo and all that good shit. And then we're pretty much smooth sailing until Memorial Day weekend. Maybe going away from Memorial Day weekend. I'm not sure yet, but if not, I will be here live for Saturday's main event. 3 weeks from tonight, I will be here for. I will be watching Double or Nothing. I will not be. I'll be watching Battleground probably early Monday morning. And then I might do the review before I do my Memorial Day festivities as we get into Monday Night Raw and all that other stuff. And then I'll do Monday Night Raw probably that Tuesday. So everything will probably be a little bit skewed on Memorial Day weekend. And then after Memorial Day weekend, as we go back to work and other things, the schedule will pretty much get back to a semi-normal basis. We'll see what happens with that as we go through the rest of this month, and we go through, pretty much like 4 weeks away till the end of this month. So we got a month, 28 days away to the end of the month, and then we begin June. The start we have the unofficial start of summer on Memorial Day weekend, then the official start of summer in mid-June, then got Father's Day coming up and all that other stuff. Money in the Bank coming up. Night of Champions is going to be at the end of June in Saudi Arabia. That's why they're not doing Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia this year, because Crown Jewel is going to be in Australia, and then the Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi Arabia at the end of January. So, that's going to be like a 3 o'clock start here in the Northeast. Crown Jewel is going to start, I don't know when, probably like 6 a.m. here. It's going to be insane, in October. Because we have that's the SmackDown before Crown Jewel is going to be in Australia, so that's going to be, taped, obviously, but, most of us are going to see it at 8 o'clock on USA Network, or if you have a VPN with Netflix, Netflix and everything, you can watch it live from Australia. And I think that they might do Raw from Australia, but, we have to see. They're saying it's tentative right now, but who knows. That's in October. And that's going to be John Cena's pretty much final match, because he's not going to be, I don't even think he's going to be at the Survivor Series November the 30th. That's a Sunday night in San Diego at Petco Park. And then I don't think they're doing anything in December. They might have one more Saturday Night's Main Event for the end of the year by then, but for December, and then might have another one in January, like they did this year, where they had a Netflix premiere, then they had the first Saturday's Main Event, and all the shit, as, we're going to be on the road to WrestleMania 42 in Nolens. That's, April 10th to the 11th. That's Easter weekend again. And I don't like what Nick Khan is thinking. It's like, I want to do more freaking pay-per-views on holiday weekends, or on a holiday and stuff. So next year's WrestleMania will be on Easter weekend, and then probably 43, which will be in Indy, I believe. I think Indy gets 43. I'm not sure, but in any case, that's probably going to be on Easter weekend in 2027, which may be in March or early April. Who knows? I don't like sporting, like big sporting events like Mania on Easter weekend. I hate that. I mean, I'm okay with the like Ring of Honor being on my birthday weekend. Actually, I went to a Ring of Honor show the day before my birthday, but it was an early show. So I think the show was on a Saturday or early Sunday. And me and the missus went. I think it was Final Battle 2012. Doomsday. Steen, Jericho, Ladder War 4, that epic one. I think that was an early day show or early night show. I think it was a early day. I think a day show or night show. I forget. But it was the day before my birthday, I believe. It was fucking epic. Me and Rosa almost getting Michael Elgin in our fucking lap. Actually, no, not Roddy in our lap. Like, drop my fucking Coke. So Michael Elgin still, pretty much Michael Elgin still owes me a Coke. But, whatever it is. But it is what it is. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here and watch a little TV, get ready for 2 hours of great wrestling action live for Collision in Lansing, New Jersey. So I am out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back later for video number 3 my TNA Ring of Honor review back over on my main channel, Killer of Demons 669, and that's all I gotta say about that. So, and then I'm gonna have so I'm gonna watch Collision, have my sensible dinner, and then come back with one or two maybe more videos, and I'm gonna go to bed, and then probably early tomorrow, before I do my festivities for tomorrow, I will be probably early afternoon Sunday, I'll be doing my Collision review, and then probably late Sunday night, I'll do my rant about Hogan. And that's that. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, if you're not down with that, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! That's it. Adios. Peace. No. Like I'm saying, no. Bye, I'm out of here.